A rivalry between middle school basketball players graduates with them until they reach high school. Our protagonist determines in his heart to win that duel. Do you think he will win? Hello, today, Anytime will show you the recap of a 2016 anime titled Kuroko no Basket Winter Cup Compilation, Shadow and Light. Aida Rico, the founding member of the Seirin High School basketball team, sits on the school's freshman resumption day along with Hyuga, the team's captain, as they hope and pray that they get students to join the basketball team. The Seirin High School was founded about a year ago, and they do not have students, let alone talented basketball team members. And Aida tells Hyuga that if they can win any tournaments that season, they may get students to join them for the next season. While Hyuga wallows in the thought of whether or not it's possible for them to win any competition or even get students to join them, a huge student comes to join them after bullying one of their members. Aida feels positive after seeing the boy named Kagami Taiga, who's tall and confident about his skills. When they ask him why he wants to join the club, he tells them basketball is the same in Japan, then drops his name and leaves. As he leaves, the other team member shows them a form filled out by another freshman, Kuroko Tetsuya, from the Teiko Basketball Club. As Aida hears Teiko's basketball club, she hurriedly puts interest in Kuroko and asks if Kuroko is a member of the Generation of Miracles. The Generation of Miracles is a team of 5 spectacular students from Teiko Basketball Club with excellent skills and fantastic speed. She finds out Kuroko isn't a member, but still feels much more optimistic about Kuroko's skills. Likewise, the talents of all the students they have recruited. Also, she finds out that Kagami is from America, and that's where he learned his basketball from, and hopes he will bring new skills. The members of Class 1 and Class 2 of the team compete against each other, and they all look at their skills. Throughout the training, the names of Generation of Miracle members keep coming up in conversations on Kagami's way home. He decides to ask Kuroko who the Generation of Miracles is. After Kuroko explains how skilled the members of the Generation of Miracles are, he tells Kuroko that he will grow so strong that he will defeat the team. Kuroko replies that unless he has a skill hidden somewhere, he isn't skilled enough to defeat them. After he has examined all of Kagami's strengths, and that's his conclusion. However, he tells Kagami that he is his shadow, and that anyone he decides to support on the field will benefit from his great skills from him. He decides he will support Kagami during competitions and they will win. The high hopes of the Seirin High School team get broke as fast as possible during the Interhigh competition against Toō Gakuen High School. For the first half of the competition, it seems as if Seirin High members are up for the task, not until the members of Toō Gakuen go to wake Aomine Daiki, the ace of the Generation of Miracles, which had slept off during the first half. Aomine joins the game, and the first thing he tells Kuroko is that Kuroko hasn't improved. During their middle school period, Aomine and Kuroko are competitors, and Kuroko has never won against Aomine. As the second half starts, Aomine attempts to net the ball, but Kagami stops him. For the second attempt, several defendants stay by the net, but he bypasses them and nets the ball from behind. They win the game, and Aomine takes great pleasure in humiliating Kuroko again. After the match, Kagami tells Kuroko to stop passing the ball to him, as even if they play together and he remains in his shadow, they still can't win. As a result, Kuroko tells their captain that he wants to stop being a starter. Hyuga asks him to consider Kagami before making such a decision, and the best decision to be made after such defeat is the decision to become stronger. The team train for their next competition, having in mind that they will become much stronger than the members of Generation of Miracles, which consists of Aomine, Rise Ryota, Midorima Shintaro, Murasaki Bara Atsushi, and Akashi Seijuro as their leader. There are 3 basketball competitions per session, the first of which is the Summer Interhigh, which they have lost, the second Autumn National Sports Meet, and the third, which is the most prominent at the moment, is the Winter Cup. It's time for the Winter Cup, and their team arrives for the welcome service. Aida wonders why Kagami isn't around for the welcome service, and the other teammates look at their opponent and wonder if they will be able to defeat any of the beasts there. With all these thoughts in their mind, Kuroko receives a message from Akashi. He asks Aida for an excuse to leave the gathering, telling her that Akashi, the leader of the Generation of Miracles, has summoned him. Aida asks Furihata, another team member, to follow Kuroko, and they must return before their first game that evening. As they get there, they meet the members of the Generation of Miracles together. Akashi eventually arrives. He tells Furihata to leave, as he wants to speak to his former teammates, and although Furihata wishes to leave, he finds it difficult to move his leg. Also, Kagami arrives. He tells Akashi that it will be bad to send them away, and they are also interested in the conversation. So Akashi takes a pair of scissors and attacks Kagami, who dodges the attack. He tells Kagami he's a winner and has never lost, so no one has the right to talk back at him. He attempts to leave, and the others ask why he called them. He says he wants to greet them, and although he had something to say earlier, but seeing them now, he has realized they didn't forget their promises. Seirin's first game is against Toho, and they are determined to do their revenge. Kuroko uses the Ignite Ball skill to pass the ball to Kiyoshi, who confuses an opponent and gives the ball to Kagami. They score their first goal, but it gets more difficult from there. Aomine uses Vanishing Drive skills. He closes his eyes as Kuroko attempts to pass. He nets the ball and tells Kuroko that the shadow doesn't work with light, and since his eyes are closed, he doesn't see the light, so he can always win. Angrily, Kuroko tries the Ignite Ball technique again, but Aomine catches it. He asks if Kuroko thinks he can defeat him by repeating a skill twice. After their break, Kuroko is subbed off. Kagami decides he no longer wants to greet Aomine, and he wants to defend. He blocks Aomine from scoring, and Ida wonders if that's his main skill. Aomine is also shocked that someone could block him. He comments that Kagami has grown considerably strong since their last encounter. He tells him he didn't see his technique coming, and Kagami should battle with him with all he has. The game continues, and the two teams keep up with all the tricks on their sleeve. By the end of the second quarter, Toho is leading Seirin with 2 points. They go for a 10-minute break, where Aomine leaves his teammates and goes to a special room. As his teammates walk together, they talk about how boring basketball games are for Aomine. The reason is that he hasn't seen any competitor that gives him passion, and they assume that he will be pleased now that the Seirin's team seems like an eligible competitor. Their hypothesis is correct, as Aomine is seen with the basketball grinning. On the other hand, Kuroko stays alone, thinking about his middle school days and how he struggled to be a little as good as his other teammates and friends. He remembers when he went to meet Aomine and walked home with Aomine. As they walked, he asked why Aomine has been missing training, and Aomine told him playing basketball and training was no longer as fun as it used to be because he could defeat every team, and it was no longer a competition for him. That day, he told Aomine how much he trained to be as good as them and asked Aomine not to lie back whenever they were playing together. They train together, and Aomine ignores his fist bump. Kagami comes to meet Kuroko, thereby taking him away from his thoughts. When Kagami asks him what he thinks, he tells Kagami that he wants them to win so he can bring back Aomine's smile and passion for playing, since Aomine will lose. The game starts again, and Kuroko uses his Vanishing Drive against his opponent and bridges the gap. However, it turns out another student on Toho's team is as strong. He uses the misdirection flow against them, and Seirin loses. At that moment, the point is 56-70, and everyone has concluded that Seirin is losing the game. Suddenly, another student on Seirin's team, Izuki, vanishes to score a goal. People are shocked until they find out that Kuroko is using his misdirection overflow, thereby giving all his teammates the vanishing skills. The result is that they will no longer be able to use that skills against Toho again, which is a bad idea since the school is in the same district. However, Kuroko insists he won't lose on that court. They go for the third break, and Aomine is excited that he has eventually seen a real competition. The fourth stage starts with real power. With 4 minutes to the end of the game, Seirin is losing with points 85-92. They take a break to re-strategize, and Kagami asks Ida for the opportunity to play one-on-one with Aomine. His captain allows him, but they remind him that the fate of the whole team is on him. He goes to tackle with Aomine using several techniques. He gets faster than Aomine, and with 52 seconds left for the game, Seirin is losing with 4 points. The tension and hopes get high as the team returns to the court. 28 seconds to the end of the game, Seirin is losing with 2 points. They hope to win until Aomine outstands them and nets another ball. The gap becomes 3, and with just 15 seconds left, later, Kagami nets a ball with the great help of Kuroko, and the gap reduces to 1 point, and they have just 5 seconds left. They re-strategize again, and Kuroko volunteers that Kagami nets the ball. They eventually win on 101 to 100 points, as Kagami and Kuroko help each other away from the court. Aomine comes to meet them. He tells them they can't even walk independently, and the winner isn't set. They ask him not to relent, as they are coming to play him again. Before the movie ends, Kuroko reminds Aomine of the fist bumps, and Aomine returns the energy. Thanks for watching the recap. Kindly subscribe to our channel to get notified when we post the next recap. See you next time.